Hi everybody, this is Gary from Pathways Homestead, and I am converting the thrown together cobbled up goat shelter into a chick brooder. We had just a lumber tarp on top of this for a roof, and I decided we need something that coons couldn't get through, so I'm putting tin on it. I put some scrap plywood over holes in the side of the pallet so that a snake couldn't get in as easy, and I'm going to finish putting the roof on here in a little bit, and then I'll put a different gate door on here so that it's easier for us to access in and out, and so it keeps stuff from going over this. And we're getting ready for chicks. We have serious math problems here at Pathways Homestead. When we went to pick up 4 pigs, we came home with 12. And we went to order 50 chicks and we ordered 200. So we are getting ready for some more Cornish Cross Chicks. That's been a pretty good investment for us. We've done pretty good with those, raising them and selling them and eating them and giving them away. And so we're fixing to start on another batch for the fall and get ready to go. We've got some pigs that'll be ready to butcher here in a month or so, and then we've got pigs that's coming up. So we're just continuing to grow food here on Pathways Homestead, and this is part of it. And I'm completely using scraps, and this is just cobbled together to hold for a while. This is one of the homestead challenge things, I guess. We're just making do with what we got, and I'm not even taking the time to build it real neat, just where it'll work. And so y'all hide and watch.
So he has this large pallet here on the end, and then he has a smaller pallet here. And he did have to cut this pallet down. Here's the piece. It must have been a bigger pallet, but he cut it down. He's added a scrap piece of 2x4 here for it to help with the roof. Used tin or leftover tin that we have. Another pallet laid down. It's not as tall as the other one, or it looks like it's 2 pallets here for the side. And then on the inside he has lined with used lumber and plywood so that there's not big holes. Once he gets the roof covered, it'll be pretty varmint proof. So he just built this out of the scraps that we had around. He started with the little shelter that we had thrown together for the goats. And this will house the chicks until they're ready to go out into chicken tractors. And he's going to have to build some more chicken tractors to accommodate 200 birds. So that is what we have, folks. Cheap, easy, scrap, DIY chicken brooder that'll house 200 chicks. Dip their heads in the water so they know where the water is. So we ended up with 200 live birds they sent 5 extra, and that's how many were lost in shipping. So, guys, so far we're pretty pleased. We got these from Freedom Rangers in Pennsylvania, Freedom Ranger Hatchery, and we did buy the Cornish Cross. They do offer Freedom Rangers as well, but we picked the Cornish Cross. We've had good luck with them. We did help some friends butcher some Freedom Rangers the other day, and they looked nice. They are smaller birds, and for our clientele and for what we want, we're going to stick with the Cornish. But the Freedom Rangers are a nice bird.
Hopefully our new brooder setup, our cobbled up brooder setup, is going to work for these birds. So far it's looking like we've got enough room. We've got to add another water and a couple more feeders to our setup, but we're going to do that here in a minute. And hopefully we can keep them alive and get them on grass before long, and be feeding them out, and they will make good meals for somebody. And so that's what we're up to today.
All right, we got a couple waters in there. We have feeders, and Gary's working on going and looking around and scrounging up a couple more feeders for them. There we go, 200 chicks. There, some of them are drinking, some of them are eating, some of them are sleeping under the light. We're going to put another light up in here too, so that they're not so crowded underneath one light. I'll show you the finished product of the brooder here. So Gary finished the door out of hardware cloth and some scrap lumber. And our fancy hook, baling wire and nails.
Birds drinking and birds eating.
Yep.
Birds moving around, and some of them kind of being over under the light, but they're not all huddled up. I think our temperature's about right. Birds seem to be getting everything they need. They're not, I mean, they're making noises, but they're not getting carried away loud. Everything looks good. Looks like they're getting everything they need, and they can adjust the temperature how they want, and they're doing just fine. When you bring home chicks, when you put them in your brooder setup, however that looks, if that's a cardboard box with a little light bulb, or if that's a stock tank, or if that's a rabbit cage with some cardboard around it, or however it looks, one of the things you need to do is you can use a thermometer and check temperatures, but you need to watch your chicks. If they're huddled up real tight right under the light bulb, it's too cold in there, and they're not getting warm enough, and that's why they're doing that. If they're huddled up real tight on the opposite end of your brooder away from your light bulb, means it's too hot in there and they're trying to get away from the heat. If they're just kind of scattered out, some close to the bulb and some kind of eating and drinking, your temperature's just right, and your chicks will tell you what they want. If you watch them, you'll see what's comfortable for them and what's not. And that's one of the ways you've got to keep to where they can thermal regulate, where they can get warm enough and they can cool off a little bit. So you've got to have when you set a brooder up, you want your heat lamp at one end and your waters and feeders either at the other end or in the middle, so that they can get away and get close and regulate. But you can watch them and see if your setup's right, and if it's not, you need to make adjustments. This setup, if it wasn't warm enough, we would lower the light bulb closer to the ground so they'd have more heat, and the ground would get warmer right in that area. Or add another light bulb if we needed to. If it was too hot, we'd unplug the light bulb. And that's what we're watching for, and that's kind of how you can thermal regulate. And you saw these a minute ago, and they seem to be doing really good. We've got all this just right. So we'll keep an eye on them and see how they do throughout the day. Thank you for watching. This is Pathways Homestead. We'll see you later.